All right. Are we all back online, back on our EC2 accounts? So we're now going to go ahead and set up Python. And Python is going to run our web page. So if you go over to your EC2 account and your PuTTY terminal, put your hand up if you're at that stage, you have the terminal open. Okay, put your hand up if you're at this stage, you have the terminal open. Seeing 2 groups ready, 3 groups. How are you guys doing at the back? Otter, Believe, and HTML. Okay, you guys are good? Otter, Believe? Otter is good. Does Believe have the, awesome. Okay, so we're in the EC2. What we're going to do is we'll go back to our home directory. So, oh my goodness, my internet is slow again. So it's /home/etc2-user. So we're going to cd to that. So cd/home. And you can actually just type the H or the HO and tab. It's going to fill it in for us. You can also do EC and tab again, and it'll fill it in for us. So we should now be in our EC2 user home directory. This is where we're going to set up Python. The reason for that is we don't need to be in var www. It's not a protected directory. Makes it a little bit easier. If you haven't already, make sure you are root. So sudo su if you see a $ after your prompt. And we're going to get the Python, or we're going to get pip.py. Pip.py is an installer for Python modules. So we're going to use that to actually go ahead and get the Python module we need. So you're going to type wget, W for web. It's going to get it from the web, and then this URL. And you should see something like this. So it connects, and it gets it, right? You see this 200 OK. That's an HTTP response code. That means that we've got it OK. Put your hand up if you are at that stage. Yeah, so it's wget and then space and then the URL. So right here. Anyone still typing the URL in? For those of you who have it already, you might have done it since it's on screen. We're going to run that script. So if you do an ls, ls shows what we actually have in our home directory. You'll see a get-pip.py. So we're going to run that with Python. So Python get-pip.py, and that'll do it. In my case, it's already installed, so it doesn't do anything, but you guys will see a lot more text. And then we're going to type pip install. So pip is that Python or program that will install other Python modules. Pip install web.py. So again, in my case, it's already there. You guys will see a lot more. So now we're going to create a Python script. So I'm just going to do this to clean up. Right, so you can use Vim if that's what you're comfortable with. You can use WinSCP to create some w.py or something along those lines. You can call it what you want. And we're going to put some code into there. So the code we're going to put in is import web. This is going to import that web.py that we just got, and web.py is what allows Python to run on an HTTP server and send content dynamically generated. We're now going to create a list. It's a different type of list. We're going to use brown brackets for this one. So it'll be first a slash, and then the name index. What this does is, or sorry, we'll call it URLs. So we're setting URLs equal to that. It's going to create a mapping of slash, so just the default page when you go to the IP, it's going to go to the class index. And now we're going to create that class. So classes in Python are basically like our own little object. It can have its own variables inside of it. And the variable we're going to create, or the function in this case, is get. Get handles HTTP get requests. And we'll just say self to give it a copy of itself. And colon. So now 2 indents since we're in the class and we're in the function. And we're just going to return some text. Everyone there so far? And the last thing we'll do is tell our program what to do when it starts up. So that's the last 3 lines there. If name equals main, then we're going to tell web to run. So if... Is
that 1 or 2 underscores?
2 underscores. So equals main, and then we're going to do app equals web.application, opening bracket. And again, my putty's being slow. And so this is also indented. URLs, comma, globals. Has everyone got this in now? Right, so remember the indenting, that's important. Remember these brackets here, those are important. And it's 2 underscores. Yes, Edwin? So now that we have this Python file, if you're in Vim, remember it's escape:x to save and exit. And now if you ls, it's going to see that w.py or whatever you called it in there. So now we're going to type Python w.py. And then you're going to type an 80 after that. That tells it to run the HTTP server for Python on port 80. Yes. Yeah, so you're getting a no socket could be created error. Any idea why that would be? Kind of like a socket. So a socket is a piece of software that handles a connection to a specific port. So we can create a socket on port 80 that will handle incoming requests, and in the case of, say, HTTPD, that will send out the pages that it requests based on the file system. So given that, any idea why no socket can be created? Remember that each port can only be handled by 1 application on each machine. Yes? Okay, very good. Yeah, it's being used by some other application like your browser. Now remember that this is on the server, so we're not actually running any browsers on the server. What are we running on the server? Yeah, we're running HTTPD, which is our standard HTTP web server. So what we actually have to do to get rid of that error is shut down HTTPD. So to do that, we're going to type service. So like what we did to start it, HTTPD stop. Right? And now we can run Python on that py file, and that will work. Excuse me. Okay, so it stopped. Awesome.
I think it's same.
Okay, so it's not Vim. So exit out of Vim. Yeah. So not Vim script.py, but Python script.py space 80.
Actually, it's showing a syntax error on on script.py at line 7, so you're just checking that. There's a syntax error.
Invalid
error.
syntax, and you say get. Oh, okay, so it's not supposed to be get. I've got to move my window so you can see it.
Should I open this up?
Yeah, open it up. Yeah, so let me go show that and change that line there to what it says up there. It's def get, not get. You mean why is the self there?
Yeah.
So the self basically gives that function a reference to the calling object, and the calling object in this case is the web.py application itself. So it tells it that it's actually part of that HTTP server. Okay, so which groups now are still having trouble getting that? You guys are still having trouble? Is everyone else good on that? Yeah. Okay, so for everyone else, so we don't keep you waiting, now go back to your IP and see what happens. In my case, it's not running. But while your Python script is running.
Yeah. You now have our Python bit.
Yeah. So you guys should see. So there are two things you should see if the script is running and you go to that IP. You should see in your browser whatever text you entered in, right? So that's now Python acting as an HTTP server giving you that text. The other thing you should see in your console is a little log that says that it was a 200 error code and it successfully got, or not error code, but response code, and it successfully got that page, which was just slash. Is everyone seeing that? Put your hand up if you just did get it. You guys, how's Team Pizza doing? Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, so you're getting a 404. And what happens when you load this? Oh yeah, so that works. Why is that not working? Or why is that getting 404? Okay, so that's the 200. Oh, okay. So you're getting a 404 on favicon.ico. The reason for that, is anyone else getting error 404 for favicon.ico? Yeah, so what's happening there is, do you guys know what a favicon is? Yeah. So as Sarah said, it's the little picture that goes along with a web page. So for instance, in Chrome, we've got Gmail has this little M thing, that's its favicon. Google has the G. And browsers by default will look at the server and look at /favicon.ico to see if it has one. So that's why your server is actually getting a request that you didn't explicitly tell it to, because it's looking for that icon, and Python doesn't know how to handle it. So that's why you're getting that 404 there.
Do you create favicons?
Yeah, so the question was, do you create favicons? And yes, you do that. It's like an image, but it's a special format. I've got a program that'll do it. I'll put it into the shared folder tonight. Yeah, so you guys can create a favicon if you want to. I'll put it in this folder tonight. So we've got our Python server that is now giving us text that was dynamically generated. Are you guys still having trouble with that? Oh, sorry. Yeah. So it's double underscore, yeah, make sure this is def. Right, so what we're doing down here is we're setting app to be this web application, and then we're telling it run. So .run means take app's run method and call it. So it's calling code within app. So now what we can do is open up our Python script again. Now, yes, Sarah.
Right now we don't have the whole root.ip thing. Before it was prompting us with this whole root.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, Sarah asked a good question. You're not seeing the prompt. You're not seeing the command prompt. The reason for that is when you're running your Python script, the output and input is handled by Python. So it's not handled by your command line. So in order to actually get back to your prompt, you have to hit Control-C, and that's going to kill the program, it cancel the Python script, and then you'll see your command prompt. So hit Control-C, and then you'll get it back. Any other questions? And Kelvin, are they doing okay back there? Are they at this point?